What's up, y'all? This is Robert Glasper, and you're watching We Sound Crazy. You can be talented, but you have to know when you need a producer.
My God.
Right.
Preach.
Because everybody that sings is not a producer.
Right.
Everybody that sings is not a writer.
Right.
Everybody that writes is not a singer.
Right.
Those are all three different things. Some people are blessed to be all three.
Yeah.
Some people can be two.
Yeah.
But some people's career don't go where they need to go because they don't really realize that they're not one of those things that they think they are.
Welcome to another week of We Sound Crazy, your official backstage pass to all things music and culture. It's me, Billionaire.
You here?
I'm here.
Claude Kelly is certainly present for this conversation.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Chuck Harmony. I'm in the building.
What up, y'all? Bacon from Macon is in the building.
Whoa,
We are not alone.
man. This is I literally flew back just for this episode.
You did.
I literally flew back.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. Today's guest is a true game changer.
Yep.
A genre-bending 5-time Grammy Award winner.
Yep.
An Emmy Award winner.
Yep.
A composer, producer who's redefined what jazz, hip-hop, and soul can sound like.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the incomparable Robert Glasper.
Hey.
Finally. You know what I'm saying?
We're trying to do this for a
Been
minute.
trying to do it for a
this
minute, bro.
Yeah.
Glad to have you
Absolutely.
here, first
Thank
of
you.
all.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
Glad to have you here.
Glad it worked out.
Yeah, I when I think of Robert Glasper, I don't even put the Robert at the beginning because it's like, you have Davis, you have Hancock, and you have Glasper.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he's by the last name.
That's all you need.
Yeah. How, do you get that? Like, how do you feel when people just say the last name Glasper? Like, what do you
I think
get
it's
that?
dope. Yeah, I'm happy for it. I think it's great. Also because my last name is weird, so
Yeah.
you don't know a lot of Glaspers. You know what I mean?
It rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Yeah,
It does. So
yeah.
it's easy. So it's like, yeah, I prefer just that
Yeah.
Glasper. You know.
You come out of Houston.
Yes. I'm out of Houston.
Yeah.
Like we talked about. Right. Black people always out of somewhere. We out of the south side of Houston.
And you were, around your mom who was a musician as well.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Like, do you remember when that light bulb went off?
Yeah, because so here's the deal. Like my mom was a like a top 40 singer.
Yeah.
So she sang every night, and she was also the minister of music at church. You know what I mean? So, but she also had the rehearsals at her house too. So we had amps and keyboards and drums and all the things. So I started off playing drums first.
Yeah.
Just for like 2 years, really, like, playing in the garage while my dad played Luther Vandross records. I'll play along to them and stuff like that. And then I started playing at church, playing drums at church. But then I just got rid of the drums altogether and started running track.
Yeah.
But then, but my mom, she would work late nights, because she was singing in the club. So her thing was, since elementary school, like when I come back home, because she gets home at 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
If I'm up, I better not be up watching TV. If I'm up, I'm on the piano or I'm asleep.
So she didn't play.
No. But she allowed me to be, I could be up at 3, 4 in the morning if I want, long as I'm on the piano. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's crazy.
So needless to say, when I hear the garage open, I'll turn the TV off and jump,
I'm under the piano.
jump on the piano. Right. No, but I played piano most of the time because also I wasn't zoned to my high school I wasn't zoned to my elementary school, my junior high or any of those things. So I didn't know any of the kids in my neighborhood.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I never really knew the kids in my neighborhood because, I always had to try to go to a better school that was not where I stayed. So, playing the piano was just what I did all the time,
Wait, so you brought up high school.
Yeah.
You grew up with the likes of Brian Michael Cox.
Yes. Yeah.
You went to school with Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we know these people as mega stars, legends.
Yeah.
Like, how is it getting up and seeing Beyonce walking past our lock at 8 o'clock at night?
I know. Well, It was regular because
Yeah.
Latoya Luckett, that's my little cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I knew them for a long minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like boom, boom. So Latoya and Beyonce went to my high school, and Beyonce never really sung at the school.
She didn't sing at school.
Not really. She sang when she had to, like basically like in the classroom. But you didn't really see her doing the talent shows or the singing, humming through the hallway, nothing like that. She was
She was waiting on the bag. probably.
yeah, she yeah, all that stuff maybe, you know what I mean?
Taught her
But you
early
never saw anything like that. But Brian, I used to pick him up for school every morning. I'm the one that had the car, so I would pick Brian up for school. But the crazy thing is when I knew me and B Cox are gonna be like you can't we're together all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And any church I played for, he sang for.
Wow.
Seventh Day Adventist Church, Catholic Church,
Yeah.
Baptist Church, he was in the choir
He was singing?
singing.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he followed me every church I played for in my high school career. Brian was in the choir. He would go where I go.
Brian Michael Cox.
He's singing.
I never knew you sung, bro. I never heard of B Cox.
Wait,
sing.
you never heard Brian sing?
He
know what?
released a song. I heard him sing.
I've
He
heard him
released a
sing.
song.
Yo,
Yeah.
Brian,
He can sing.
Brian can sing, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he just chooses not to put that on Front Street.
Yeah, but he even did records where he's singing. I'm like, Brian, put this out or give it, put it out, bro.
Yeah, he
People
can
got to
sing.
know you sing. Yeah, but so he sings. But first day of school in high school, he's like, hey man, can you give me a ride? Because I met Brian in a competition in 8th grade. It's called the Sammy Davis Junior Awards, and he had a group that he was singing with called Business or Pleasure, and it was like 4 guys, R&B stuff, and I was just me playing solo jazz piano.
I'm laughing at the name Business or Pleasure.
Business or Pleasure is amazing. I just so hilarious. Anyway, so and even then he was like, "Hey man," so basically I won the competition. So he was like, "Man, you got to come to high school for the performing visual arts," because I was going to a regular high school. I was like, "Really?" Blah, blah, blah. We talked. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I ended up at the high school performing arts. Like literally, the first day of school, he was like, "Hey man, can you give me a ride to my aunt's house?" I was like, "All right, cool, no problem." We're riding, going down the highway. We exit. I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy. My aunt used to live in this neighborhood." We turned into the neighborhood. I'm like, "Yo, my aunt lived literally in this neighborhood. That's crazy." Turned down this street. I was like, "Bro, this is my aunt's street where she used to live." Turned into my aunt's driveway.
Yo.
What?
Brian's aunt moved in after my aunt moved out.
That's
crazy.
Yo.
That was like I grew up in that house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then Brian grew up in that house from a certain extent.
Where is that house?
Right.
Right.
Where's the address? Well, we need to. There's some old.
I
address.
remember Furlong Lane. It was like west. It was like Fondren and Airport. The street was like Furlong Lane. I forget the address, but Furlong Lane. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy
And that's when we
synergy.
knew, like, yo, we're gonna be together for a minute. This is my guy right here. Like that was just crazy.
Yeah.
And every time we ride in the car, he would hit me to all the new R&B stuff that's out, or he was a liner notes freak. I was reading the liner notes. I was hipping him to Chick Corea and Oscar Peterson and Herbie, and you know what I mean. So every car ride we had was a learning experience for both of us all the time. You know,
Just playing music.
playing music, bro.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I got a music question. I feel like you're one of the few artists that blur the lines between genres from like gospel music, hip hop, jazz, R&B. I want to know how you classify your music, and do you feel like the term genre is still relevant in how you classify music and how people consume it?
It's very hard to classify my music as one thing because it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It depends on the album but that's something that's not normal for an artist. That's not a normal thing.
Right.
Normally an artist is the art. That's what they do. That thing they do is what they've been doing, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's very rare to find someone like me who is like, hey, you want an actual jazz record, trio, or like real jazz record? I got you.
Yeah.
You want a hip hop record? I got you.
Yeah.
You want an R&B record? I got you. The first record I ever produced in my life was a gospel record. You know what I mean? So I can give you all of those things, and it's actually, you feel it's real, it's
Authentic,
truth. You know what I mean? It's authentic. It's not me playing at the genre. A lot of people play at a genre, like they like jazz, but they don't really play jazz. You know what I mean?
They don't even really know jazz.
You know, I can tell. I know what you really do. That's not it. You know what I mean? But so yeah, I don't. I don't classify. I just tell people, hey, depending on what you want, because that's the thing. When people say, hey, go listen to Robert Glasper, I get scared because I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know
which side
what
of
you
me?
gonna.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
like that, and that's a real thing, you know. Like I've had I've had people recommend me for like scores, and they go, oh, you want a jazz score? Call Robert Glasper. But when they look me up, it goes right to like black radio.
Yeah.
And they're like, this isn't giving me the jazz out. No, you know, and I don't get the part. And then later on they realize, oh, I checked out the wrong stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be confusing. It could be a little bit like, oh man, you know what I mean? Because it's like I don't know what to do about it. That's basically what happened with Chris Brown. That's basically what happened. You know, he went to my jazz trio stuff. He didn't know who I was when I won. He's like, that's why he said, who the fuck is Robert Glasper?
Yeah.
But when he looked me up,
yeah.
it went straight to like Canvas or something, like my first jazz trio record. He's like, why am I? And I understand it. I'm like, I get it.
So you weren't offended?
Nah, hell no, I wasn't offended.
Because that was crazy.
It was great though. I loved it.
Glasper, you said in an interview that jazz is the mother to hip hop.
Yeah,
Unpack that for us.
because a lot of jazz, it's they both come out of the same thing. They both come out of necessity. You know what I mean? It comes out of, you know, going against the system, fighting against all the things that black people have to fight against in the world all the time. You know what I mean?
Rebellion.
And that's literally where hip hop is born from. That's literally what jazz is born from. You know what I mean? It's something we needed to do to make to survive. It's a survival music. It's a warrior music. But jazz was before that. You know what I mean? And then you get to the sampling part. So much jazz sampled hip hop. You know what I mean? There's so many of the bass lines, of the chords, of the drum beats, the breaks, and all the things. You know what I mean? Even from the swag of jazz musicians, like that's where hip hop cats get their swag from. A lot of the swag from. You know what I mean? Just there's so many things that they are borrowed from jazz. So that's why I say that. You know what I mean? It's like that.
It's actually interesting because jazz really is. It's, you know what,
American classical
American
music.
classical music.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
You agree
sure.
with that?
Yeah, it is.
Roberta Flack said that, right?
Yeah.
Roberta Flack said that. I agree.
Yeah, it is. And
Rest in peace, Roberta.
Man, rest in peace, Roberta Flack. I got to play with her once.
Wow.
I got to play with Roberta on the Grammys with Maxwell. When I was playing with Maxwell from like 2000,
Maxwell.
like 2000 when Pretty Wings came out.
Yeah.
It was literally my experiment band. Chris Dave on drums, Derek Hodge. Derek Hodge was the music director. And we played 2009 to 2000, maybe 14.
Yeah.
So when Pretty Wings finally came out, he was nominated for a Grammy. I think Best R&B album or something like that. He won. And then we did the Grammys. And we did Pretty Wings, but we did some arrangement where it was like Roberta Flack with us, and we did Where's the Love first. But it was cool because I was nominated for a Grammy the same year. I had my first Grammy nomination for my album called Double Booked. And on that album, Bilal's on that, and then we do a song of his called All Matter. And All Matter was nominated for Best Alternative R&B Song or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was funny. My album's called Double Booked, and I was actually double booked at the Grammys.
Double booked.
So literally, I had to miss some of the rehearsal because I was at the pre-tail.
Oh, yeah.
Once I found out I lost, I ran back. I ran back to the main stage so I could finish do rehearsal with Max and Roberta. And nobody knows this. There's a random YouTube clip somewhere. It pops up every blue moon. Some people rename it. At one point, they were like, "Robert, Roberta's looking for you. She needs you now." I was like, "Oh shoot!" I run back where her dressing room is. She has a keyboard there.
Yeah.
And she just wants to run over the song, the arrangement. Just run over real quick. I'm like, "Cool, no problem." So me and her are in there running it over, and I look over and I see Bonnie Raitt, Taylor Swift,
What?
and somebody else, and they start singing background on "Where's the Love." It was either Bonnie or Reba. I can't remember, or it might have been both of them and Taylor Swift. Yeah,
That's
it was
wild.
crazy.
It gets better.
It was crazy.
Really.
It was crazy. Yeah.
What?
So
Crazy.
when I think about like an icon like Roberta Flack, and you work with so many people, legends, what young artists today give you hope for the future?
Gabby, her.
Real musician.
You can leave Gabby. You can put her in a studio by herself, and she'll come out with an album. She don't even need an engineer. Just leave her alone.
What's my joint is you did with her and Michelle Cello?
Better Than Imagine.
Yes.
Better Than Imagine.
My God.
We wrote that. I wrote, dude. That was an accident. That song wasn't even supposed to happen. It happened so random. That's why I love look. I'm such a believer in the universe.
Yeah.
And things are going to happen, and they're going to happen when they happen, and all the things. You know what I mean? That's just. I've been rolling like that for a minute. That's literally how I am. And I scored this movie called The Photograph.
Yes.
Yeah. And Gabby did the ending song for the movie. So we were at the premiere. This is literally a month before the pandemic, right? It's February. The pandemic is in March. She's sitting in front of me at the premiere in New York. And after this movie's over, she turned around and was like, Robert, I'm so inspired by the score you did. It was so inspiring. What are you doing right now? Oh, and Lucky Day's right next to me. Boom. So she's like, what are you doing right now? I was like, nothing. She's like, you want to go to the studio? I was like, sure. Let's go. So her manager called Electric Lady, and we went straight to Electric Ladyland studio. Me, her, and Lucky Day. And as soon as I walked in, I got there first before she did. And as soon as I sat down, I just started playing that. Blue, 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 blue. She happened to walk in like 30 seconds after I started playing. She's like, what's that? I was like, I don't know. She's like, keep going, keep going, keep going. And she went straight to the mic. Record, boom. And just, that was it. Started that song. Boom, that was it. Knocked that joint out, and
I'm getting chills.
Right.
or whatever it was. Then we did a dope ass song with Lucky Day. After that, we did a dope song, a duet with Lucky Day, bro. But that's just in the computer. We didn't put that out yet. I don't know.
I heard about that though.
But we waiting.
Yeah, that's what I heard about that. I ain't gonna put on blast who told me our team, but I heard about.
It's dope. It's dope. I'll play for y'all after this.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So hers the future.
Absolutely.
Anyone else?
Who I really feel strongly about, like we're in good hands.
Yeah.
Whew, slim pickings.
It's slim pickings.
It's slim pickings, Jack.
So how does Glasper go about? Because your albums are often star-studded. I mean, so many people you've worked with. How does Glasper go about choosing who's gonna work, who you're gonna work with, and who's gonna be on the record?
It's a mixture of a few things. So it's a mixture of who I want. It's a mixture of who's available. It's a mixture of, because there are people that I know that I put on my records that I ask, hey, could you? And there are people I don't know that I ask to be on the record. You know what I mean? And what I do before I do a record, I make a list of those people, and it's like a fishing net, and I just throw it out into the ocean, and I might hit 30 people. Yo, I'm trying to do this, blah, 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 blah. And if I don't know them, I'll have my manager reach out to the manager. But I prefer artist to artist. I prefer to reach out to people that I already have a little, hey, what's up, thing with. It's kind of, and then I'll go to the management side after that. So then I, after you throw the net out, you bring it back, you see how many crabs you got. You know what I mean? You see what you got.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, these people are available. That's how I make all my Black Radio albums. There are people I've been looking, there are people on Black Radio 3 that I've been trying to get since Black Radio 1.
Wow.
You know what I mean? There are people on Black Radio 2 that are on Black Radio 2 because they couldn't make Black Radio 1. Because of just timing. And they got stuff to do. They're working on their own album or whatever, all the things, so.
Has there been any one of those collaborations that challenged you or made you rethink, change the way you think about music?
Change the way I think, you know what? I wouldn't say change the way I think about music, but there was one person that challenged me, Michelle Cello.
Okay.
And I love Michelle so much. And she's the first person to really be like, I love you, Robert. But no, not that song. And I'll do another song. I love you, Robert. But no, not that song.
Yeah.
That's not speaking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's another one? Because I feel like some people, I've had people say no, they can't, but maybe they didn't like the song.
They weren't straightforward about it.
Yeah, maybe they didn't like the song. Maybe they weren't straightforward about it. Or sometimes I'll ask people, I don't have a song yet. I just want to know if you would be down. You know what I mean? Well, a lot of times it's that. And so Michelle was just so honest with me. And I think it was like the fourth song that worked. And that's on Black Radio 1. Consequence of Jealousy is called.
Oh, yeah.
Took 4 tries.
Oh, man, 4 tries.
To get it right.
And that was great for me. And that was the beginning of all that. And I'm glad it happened in the beginning. Yeah. Because it prepared me for maybe that could happen again. It prepared me to let me know, like, hey, things aren't always going to go how you want it to go.
Right.
But, this is just life. This is what it is. And, be able to understand that.
We sound crazy.
I took it over.
The late great Luther Vandross.
Luther.
Ranzoni.
Absolutely.
One of my absolute favorites.
Lufa.
For sure.
As a proud producer of the Luther Vandross documentary, I
Yes,
was
sir.
proud and honored to be a part of it. But I also
I didn't
was
even
able
know
to
that.
see the crazy thing. I told you on the Maxwell cruise.
You did?
I did. We were at Sundance. We photographed together.
Oh, shit.
So
Too many drinks.
Okay,
Right.
and we're gonna flash the screen right now. The image of me and Robert Glasper at Sundance premiere. But I remember when Don Porter and Datari and Jamie were saying like, we're going to get Robert Glasper to score and compose for this doc.
Jamie Foxx said it out his mouth?
Yes,
I
that's
don't
how I
even-
found out.
I never met Jamie. I don't even know if he knows me.
Well, surprise,
Well, no.
surprise.
Jamie
Big fan,
knows
Jamie.
you.
I'm a big fan.
Jamie knows you.
Yeah, Jamie's so talented, bro.
He's
Like,
genius.
I really want him to do like a real, like a album.
Agreed.
Like, no,
Yeah.
not for the radio, like an album. You know what I mean? His best stuff is when he's sitting at the piano by
Yes,
himself.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When he's by himself at the piano, bro,
Yes.
that's the magic. That's the magic, not the club song.
Do it.
You know.
Produce it.
I would. Ain't nothing to produce. It just nigga sit at the piano and play. that's produced by Robert Glasper.
All right. But that's when you're letting the secrets out the bag that every time, everybody on production doesn't necessarily see each other. So you just let that out the bag.
There we go.
But I have to say, I was so excited just when I got the news when we were in production. And he's like, yo, Robert's going to score this. How did you feel when you got that call to actually score what is now an award-winning
Absolutely.
documentary?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, for
Did
sure.
you get yours? You get your trophy?
Not yet.
Okay,
I'm hoping I can get one.
I'll get you connected.
We'll hook it up. Yeah. But no, I was there with Don at the NAACP Awards, and they called the network. But that to me was close the closest thing I've won. Like it because I grew up. My dad and my mom played Luther in the house all the time. Like that was the soundtrack to my childhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have so much respect for Luther. I have so much respect for Nat Alley Jr.
Yes.
You know, Nat Alley Jr., the composer for a lot of the stuff, the arranger, great pianist. That's who I was hearing all those years when I was coming up. The acoustic piano on those records and just the piano in general and the arrangements and stuff. And Nat's sound is all over that. You know what I mean? And he doesn't get a lot of credit. You know what I mean? But Nat Alley Jr. is that guy. So it was because of all those things. When I got the call to score it, I was like, oh man, that's, you know what I mean? I felt the same way when I got the call to do Miles Davis.
Yes.
To do the score the Miles Davis movie. You know what I mean? Like, it means so much to me because that's my musical. Miles is one of my musical heroes. Herbie's one of my musical heroes. You know what I mean? It's like, so to get a call to do something like Luther, I just felt like I was doing it for my mom. You know what I mean? I felt like I was doing it for my dad, doing it for my family.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, you've done almost everything that a musician just starting out could do, from scoring to writing to producing. Even on the Apple Music thing, I saw you singing, so you pretty much done everyking. Is there a musical risk that you haven't taken yet?
Singing is my musical risk. Because I'm a realist. I'm not a singer. I'm never going to be a singer. But I just wanted to just be able to sing some songs at my show that's not hard to sing, that people can sing along to. You know what I mean? It's simple stuff I'm singing. You know, I just went in the studio this is my first time talking about. I just went in the studio a few weeks ago and just like wrote some songs and of like a vocal EP I want to do. You know what I mean? Just simple stuff that I can sing.
If you need some oohs and ahs, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Some oohs and ahs, and, you know what I'm saying? I got you.
Absolutely. But that's the only risk that I see myself doing, just like, doing more singing on wax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. But I'm even taking vocal lessons,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just started taking. I took one lesson, so I can take one. I took one, but I'm gonna take more. I'm gonna take more vocal lessons just to be able to just kind of shine what I got. That's why a lot of musicians feel superior because they got to know so much. Even to be mediocre, you have to know a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to know all the keys, just know all the things, all of this, all of that. Singers, you come in there, you know the song you're singing, you know what key you're singing in, and it's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And the singers that I know that I love, like a Bilal, a Lettucey, a Layla, to this day, I've never talked about a key with them. They just be like, whatever key.
Yeah.
And I got it. And Bilal used to tell me all the time, he'll be like, yo, the reason I don't care about keys is because when I was growing up and I would go to the jazz clubs to sing, the musicians would change the keys on me all the time. And I just had to adjust.
Gotta be ready.
Got to be ready.
You mentioned Bilal,
Yeah.
and you've had a long-standing relationship with him. Y'all even did the live at the Glass House record last year, which is like
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Why does that musical relationship work in your opinion?
So when you go to college, a lot of times what happened with us is they put all the freshmen in a room and they call you up on stage by your score when you audition for the school, whatever.
Right.
All the top guys, all of this, and you do a song. And they called me and Bilal up together to do a song. We never met before. And we did the song. And I always say we never left the stage after that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because Bilal's like, he's such a... There's not many like him. He's the only one I really know truly that's like him. But he was all-state opera in high school.
Really?
Opera? Opera.
That track.
I can see that.
Opera. Yeah. And he could sing, he could just sing anything. And he studied everything.
Yeah.
He studied Indian music. We used to live together. After college, we lived together for a few years in Jersey. He was really hardcore studying Indian music.
That's in between
All
tones.
that. In between, all that stuff, you know what I mean? But he's just such a student of the music, you know what I mean? But he's a unicorn. He has a gift that's just... I've known Bilal for 30 years or something, almost 30 years, and he's never been hoarse.
Wow.
As a singer, I've never seen that man hoarse. No one's played with him more than me.
Wow.
I've never seen him hoarse. He's like horses in your mind.
It's in your mind.
It's in your mind, Phil.
I've seen him in the booth hitting high notes, smoking weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the booth smoking. Like he just does what he wants. He has that his instrument is such a gift, and we're like this. You know what I mean? Like I can go anywhere and his ears are huge. I can go anywhere he goes. You know what I mean? And then sometimes he goes first and I can follow him. You know what I mean? It's a give and take. And so that's why he's my favorite collaborator. You know what I mean? He's my favorite singer, period.
Yeah, that Firstborn second album had me in a chokehold in ninth grade.
Absolutely. Yeah, but he's super dope.
You said off camera, you said when you meet your legends that you ask them their top 5.
I try to do that. Yep, absolutely.
So I'm sitting in front of a legend.
Right.
So I want to know your top 5 Robert Glasper songs.
Ooh.
Wow. My top 5 Robert Glasper songs. That's so funny because all the people I ask, I've never been asked that question. Oh, man.
Pulled a you on you. In my head, I had to get it out.
That song you wrote with me? The Brandy?
No.
What song were you writing?
I was just singing the new Tamar Braxton.
Oh, gotcha.
We're gonna talk about the Brandy song in
That's
a second.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah.
What are we doing? That's right. Oh boy, I will have to say definitely All Yeah, with Music Soul Child, Chrisette Michele, and that wasn't supposed to be Chrisette. It's just supposed to be music.
Oh, wow.
But I was in Atlanta for 2 days, and we did half of the song, and then the second day, Foreign Exchange was in Atlanta at a festival, and Fonte hit me like I think I tweeted, "Hey, I'm in Atlanta." So Fonte was like, "Yo, come sit in with us at the festival. Come sit in." I went to the festival, sat in for an exchange, and Chrisette was there, and we started talking. And she was like, "Yeah, my flight got canceled tonight because of a storm in New York." And I was like, "Yo, I'm in the studio, coming through."
That's crazy.
That's how All Yeah became a duet.
Wow.
But that was the first song that got me on the radio. You know what I mean? That really made Black radio go.
Yeah.
That made it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely All Yeah. Calls with Jill.
I love calls.
Yeah.
Love Calls.
Yeah. Calls with Jill. It's so funny because there's Black radio stuff and then there's my jazz stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I just do Black radio stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because I'm thinking of stuff for lyrics. Better Than I Imagine. I'd probably say Better Than I Imagine with her and Michelle DeGille. Oh man,
All these are my favorites so far. I'm just letting y'all know.
These are
We're
really hard.
we're tracking so far, Glasper. We're tracking.
Let It Ride with Nora Jones. Let It Ride. Oh man. And maybe for right now, maybe because it's like, maybe You Own Me with Faith Evans.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's mostly because it's Faith.
Faith.
Yeah.
We love Faith Evans.
I
Love Faith.
have you had
Evans.
Faith on here?
Not
No.
yet.
She sent me a happy birthday message the other day.
And I talked to her
Thank you,
today, too.
Faith. Thank you, Faith.
Faith is so sweet, man.
Yeah.
She's one of the sweetest
Amazing.
ladies ever.
She
Like,
really is.
so when we did the You Own Me song, first of all, I originally I wrote it for Shaka Khan because I was producing an album on Shaka Khan, and we did 4 or 5 songs, and then her Shaka's deal fell through, and then we didn't finish it. But we did those 4 or 5 songs, and You Own Me was one of the songs. But then she was like, "You own, ain't nobody owning me," you know. Shaka was being Shaka, so we didn't really finish that one. But shout out to my boy Muhammad Ayers. He wrote You Own Me with me for Shaka. But we ended up so Faith sang it and killed it. And so she was like, after she finished singing it, she was like, "Well, let me know next time you're in LA. Do you like lobster mac and cheese?" I was
Or her
like,
lobster mac and cheese
I
is so
was
good.
like,
banging.
man.
Yo, Faith could
So-
throw down in the
no,
kitchen.
like for real. Like that lobster mac and cheese is like her signature dish though. But when I say she can cook.
Cook.
Man, she was like, "Next time you're here, let me know. I'll bring you some my lobster mac and cheese." And, you know, most people in the industry, it's industry talk. You know,
yeah.
they ain't really gonna do it. You know, and so a few months later, I came back to mix their album, Mix Black Radio 2, and I said, "Hey, I'm in LA. What it do?" She was like, "What address you at?" And I was at my engineer's house. I was like, "I'm at so and so and so and so." She said, "Okay, I'll be there in a few hours."
She's a real one.
She showed up in a Biggie shirt with a crock pot.
Yes, that's Faye Dunaway, baby.
Let me tell you something.
It's
I
Dunaway.
love it. I love it.
Let me tell you something, bro. And it was delicious.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you really did it. Like no one.
Nah,
you
Faith
know,
is the real deal, bro.
Man.
Yeah. She's another one like Bilal. Like when we worked with her, she was just like, "Okay, get out of the room.
Yes, she kicked me out of the room.
Leave the room."
I'm the only person that's been one of the few people that been able to stay in the room with Faith Evans. She's kicked y'all out. She's kicked Jermaine out. I've watched her kick Pharrell out.
She kicked
I sit
out,
right there
bro.
with me and engineer, and I've watched her cut many songs.
And
but
she rolled.
yes,
And we rolled in our car. Rolling happened, right? Separately. And I'm like, because in my mind, I'm thinking like just vocally, I'm like, she's not gonna hit because the song Tears of Joy.
Yeah, Tears of Joy.
Well, it's a rangy song. Like she's not gonna be able to smoke and do that.
yeah.
2 hours later, we get this text. Like, "Okay, I'm done." Me and Chuck go in there. We hire her. Like we're gonna probably have to come back the next day.
Right.
Clouds in the studio, and just Faith having done what Faith does. She's one of the best, bro.
First of all, her backgrounds.
Oh my
Yes.
God,
Crazy.
incredible.
Her backgrounds. The best. Period.
Incredible.
Her backgrounds are incredible, bro. Like, oh my God. So yeah, me and Brian used to always talk about this. We always said in high school, yo, we always both wanted to work with Faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a super bucket list when
Did
it
it.
was, when like Faith agreed to do the song. And I didn't know her, you know what I mean? Because what I did was a campaign on Twitter. I said, "Hey y'all, if y'all want me to work with Faith on Black Radio 2, I did that with everybody on Black Radio that I didn't know. Black Radio 2, I didn't know. I said, tag the person and tell them Robert Glasper, you need to be on Black Radio 2. Robert Glasper. So a bunch of people tagged her.
That's so good.
And that's
She's
how we
paying
did it.
attention.
That was the campaign, basically.
Just, I have a simple question, but just because you asked, Chuck, right? Who were, you mentioned this before, I know Stevie's one of them. Who are some of the people, I want to hear Stevie's answer when you ask him what's Stevie's top 5?
Oh, yeah. So I just asked Stevie this like a few weeks ago when I saw him at an after party thing. And I was like, yo, what are your top 5 songs that you've written? And he said, Knocks Me Off My Feet. He said, Overjoyed. He said, Superstition. He said, As. And then he said, I feel like he said Ribbon in the Sky.
Yes, sir.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks.
I feel like he said Ribbon in the Sky.
There's a
That's
whole-
the only one I'm not sure of. The other 4 for sure. But I feel like he said Ribbon in the Sky though.
I have to tell you, you shaped one of my favorite albums, To Pimp a Butterfly. take me through that creative environment. What was that space like during that time? What do you remember?
Well, after I wrote Kendrick raps, then we did the music. No, so I actually was. It happened very fast. What's so funny is I wasn't so much a part of the culture of the people. But when you do an album like that, that's like you kind of live in there for a minute. You know what I mean? You're in there for a few months, going to sessions, blah, 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 blah. I was in LA doing a record that I have called Covered. And I was at the studio and Terrence called me, Terrence Martin. And he was like, yo, Rob. And I told him after Good Kid, Mad City came out, I was like, Terrence, whatever I got to do, I need to be on the next record. Whatever Kendrick's next record is. Because the Good Kid, Mad City is such a good...
Man,
it's amazing.
Oh, man,
Yes.
super classic. So Terrence was like, I got you. So he called me. He's like, yo, you in LA, right? He's like, come to the studio. I'm at Dr. Dre's studio now with Kendrick. We need you to play on a joint for his next album. I was like, psh, bet. I might have ended my core recording session early. And I get over there, and it's just Kendrick, Terrence, and a few Thundercat in there. And they pull up the This Dick Ain't Free song, you know? So they took the piano player who was on it off and was like, yo, just go in there and, you know, play. And I knew what it was. It was like, you know, some jazz stuff. So I go in there, I kill it, boom. Kendrick's watching me play, and he gets hyped. He's like, oh, shoot, this dude's dope. You know, he's like, yo, pull up complexions. Play what you hear. So I did that for 8 songs.
That's crazy.
I never got up from the piano bench. So he would just play the song, and I would learn it or whatever, and then I'll say, okay, I'm ready. And I would take one take and just play what I want, play what you hear. And then a few days later, maybe, I went to Terrence's house in his garage, and I played on If These Walls Could Talk. And the funny thing about If These Walls Could Talk, it should be my 6th Grammy.
Ha!
And won hip hop song of the year that year at the Grammys. So the reason why I should be my 6th Grammy is because I was when Terrence Martin played me the song, he was playing me the song, I was learning it. And while I was learning, I was kind of warming up too. You know what I mean? So once I got the changes, I was kind of like just playing around, messing around. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to do a take. So I did one take, boom, boom, did the song. And the way that album dropped, no one knew it was dropping. Remember, it kind of just dropped out of the blue.
Yep.
And it's TDE, it's hip hop. They weren't going to send me a copy of it so I could approve it. You know, you don't get approvements in hip hop. So, and I was fine with it. I knew what I was getting into. I just wanted to be on a Kendrick album.
Yeah.
I knew when I do hip hop shit, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I'm like, I might not get paid, I might not get the credit, but I'm on there. So, album drops, and I listen to If These Walls Could Talk. And there's a full-blown keyboard solo in the middle. And it was from my warm-up.
Oh, shit.
Wow. I didn't know they were going to move it and put it in the middle of the song as a solo, which means I'm a feature.
Yes.
Right.
Which means when it won Hip Hop Song of the Year,
You should have got it.
I would have had a Hip Hop
Correct.
Song of the Year Grammy.
Damn.
Mind you, I was on 2 Song of the Year songs that year. I was also on Brittany Howard's song, I Just Want to Get High with You.
Yeah.
I played her whole album. I played that. So she won rock, best rock song or whatever. And Kendrick won best boba, and I'm on both of those. The best rock and best hip hop song in the same year. Am I awesome? Yes. Which camera wrote that? This one? You know what it is.
No,
That's what I do.
The Glasper's DNA is all over that album, man. When I tell you, just to hear that's how it happened. But I love you and Terrence together. He dinner party,
Dinner party.
I got like, man, come on, man.
Yeah,
Don't get me.
That was a pandemic staple.
Man.
Yeah.
Pandemic staple?
It was a pandemic staple.
That was Terrence's idea. 'Cause it was a pandemic. He was like, yo, bro, like, we got to find a way to do stuff that doesn't have a lot of overhead, that we don't have any drums, and boom, boom. So let's start a group where it's just a DJ.
Yeah.
So we can do stuff in a club where the DJ plays. You have a little keyboard, I have a saxophone, and we just rock out. Easy. You know what I mean? It's easy. So he was like, and then we thought about it, and me and Terrence sat there and thought about it. It was like, let's get Kamasi, let's get Knife Wonder, and let's do these songs. So we did the first one was during the pandemic, and we just, sent the tracks around to each other,
Yo, you just be having fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We need that on vinyl though, man. I need that the dinner party and the dinner party dessert on vinyl. Can y'all?
You don't have it on vinyl?
I don't. I didn't know it exists.
Did it come on vinyl?
I think so.
Did it come on vinyl?
I think so.
I feel like it's on vinyl.
Yeah.
Bro, help me track this down.
Okay.
I feel like it. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
What year was Black Radio 3?
Black Radio 3 came out in 2023.
Yeah, I think so.
2023.
But when I won the Grammy for our best R&B song with her, that was the Couch Grammy. That was when it was streaming.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
actually
yeah.
22. 22.
Black Radio 3?
February 25. Yeah.
Wait, February what?
February 25th, 2022.
You're saying a lot of numbers. I didn't know what you meant.
2022.
2022. Okay, got it.
So we were on Black Radio 2 together with the Brandy thing.
The Brandy song was Black Radio 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
That was like 2014.
I remember.
Yes, that
I
was
remember
fun.
vividly.
Absolutely.
You remember?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was fun.
That was super fun. And Brandy's another really, really sweet one too. She's
Yeah.
really, really nice. Because something happened where she had to cancel both the studio sessions that I booked for her to come do the song. And she canceled both. One happened and the next one she canceled. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get Brandy on this album, you know, because I didn't even know her really.
Yeah.
I just love Brandy. My first jazz song I ever wrote, I ripped the chord changes from "Memories of Yesterday."
Wow. Love is on my side.
Love is on my side.
First album, Brandy.
Yeah, first album, Brandy. And then the first jazz song I ever wrote, I ripped those first 4 chords from that Brandy song. But anyway, she got my number and texted me. Said, "Hey, Robert, this is Brandy. I'm so sorry about the mix-up about the first 2 sessions. Can we do it again? And I'll pay for the studio time." And she said, "Just let me try it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to use it."
Wow, imagine that.
Nah, but the whole thing was because you hit me up and you're like, yo, I want to write a song for Brandy and I need you to do it. You came to my studio in Times Square.
Yeah, in Times Square, that's right. Yeah.
And he played and I started doing it and it's Brandy. So I'm like, there's a good chance she's gonna tell us all to go fuck ourselves. Right? Like, I'm not doing it. So we were just kind of guessing, like and figuring it out. And then he's like, she's gonna do it. And I never heard anything about it.
Yeah.
I love even the collaboration with Brandy and August Green.
Yep.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
That cover of Optimistic was
And that was my first time, no, that was my second time. Well, yeah. No. Well, yeah, because Brandy let me vocal produce her on your song.
Yeah. What are we doing?
And then she let me actually vocal produce her on the Optimistic joint. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He's the diva whisperer, bro.
she literally would be like, "What do I do here?" I'm like, "You asking me?" I lived vicariously through her with my runs. It was amazing.
but Glasper, what is that process like with Brandy, who some may call the vocal Bible?
Yeah.
You don't.
I think she's an incredibly talented singer. I love Brandy, but she's not my vocal Bible.
Yeah.
But I think she's absolutely an amazing singer.
Absolutely.
But what is that process like, creating and the vocal producing process with Brandy?
Brandy is one of the most amazing artists in the booth when you're recording with her.
Agreed.
Because she doesn't even want to come out the booth until she's done. Mm-hmm. And even when she's done, you have to tell her she's done because she wants to keep going. Mm-hmm. And she wants to do another one and another one and another one and another one. Like, Brandy, we're good. You know what I mean? And she's so perfect. Mm-hmm. You know, she phased out twice.
Yeah.
Like, she tricked the computer when she was stacking.
LaShawn said that too.
Yeah.
She did it twice, bro. I've never seen anything like that. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And she's really particular. Like, okay, I'm gonna sing this line like this, and then she's really good. Okay, and at the end of the line, no vibrato. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And blah, blah, blah. Like really just in there on it. You know what I mean? It's amazing. And like I said, like she was really open to hearing what I had to say about certain runs or when she should do something or blah 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 blah. So it's great that a singer of that caliber can be like that. You know what I mean? Because reality is, you can be as talented, but you can be talented, but you have to know when you need a producer.
Mm-hmm. My God.
Right.
Preach.
Because everybody that sings is not a producer.
Right.
Everybody that sings is not a writer.
Right.
Everybody that writes is not a singer.
Right.
Those are all 3 different things. Some people are blessed to be all 3,
Yeah.
Some people can be too.
yeah.
But some people's career don't go where they need to go because they don't really realize that they're not one of those things that they think they are.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wish more people realize that. Bro.
Absolutely. Because people hurt they there's too much ego in there. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, you're an amazing singer. You can't write. You need a writer.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why Whitney Houston's Whitney Houston.
Yep.
Songwriter.
Imagine if she would have wrote her songs.
We
We
wouldn't
don't
know.
know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
we
But
might
what
not
we
know
do
her.
know is she understood she needed a writer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the process. Let's sit down and play the songs that people sent in for us.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's play a game. Let's play Keep or Kill.
I want to play a game.
Let's play Keep or Kill.
Okay.
You just gotta pick you gotta just choose between Whitney and Mariah. Who you keeping? Who you killing?
Oh, I'm keeping Whitney.
Keeping Whitney.
I got to kill Mariah?
I mean,
God damn.
It's just your favorite of the two.
yeah,
For this moment.
figuratively.
For this moment.
I've never been a Mariah person.
Okay.
Not that she can't sing or anything, but just Whitney's connected to my childhood.
Yeah.
You Good Love to Me was on when I was walking to the pool when I was in second grade.
Wow.
My mom used to sing Whitney Houston songs, and then cover, so Whitney Houston songs are just a part of a part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brandy or Layla Hathaway?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Layla. I keep Layla. I'll keep Layla because, first of all, Layla is top 5 vocalist to me, period.
Yeah.
And also, she's family.
Yeah.
And also, she's one of my favorite collaborators. Okay. Everything we've ever done has been one take. I don't have extra. That's why, if I had extra shit, I would have put it out by now.
Right.
I don't have extra things.
You would have remixed it by now,
With
right?
most people, I don't. But with Layla, I got nothing. She's so perfect. She's all over that Pimp a Butterfly album too.
Yeah.
She was in the
Yes,
studio
yes.
for about 25 minutes.
Yeah. She told
She kept the car running. It's like, I'll be back in. She called an Uber, like, hold on.
I got one. Erykah or Jill.
I'll do Jill. I'll keep Jill.
Okay.
I'll keep Jill.
Jazz or hip hop?
I mean, I'm a jazz musician at heart. Jazz.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep the mom. We'll have more kids.
That's good. Boys to Men or Jodeci?
Ooh. Take my money, my house and my car. For one hit of you, you can have
there
it
you
all,
go.
baby.
There you go.
Cause making love is the thing we do.
You see?
Shout out to KC. He watches
Come
the
on
show
now.
faithfully.
Shout out
man.
to KC.
Yeah, I'm gonna go jealousy.
Yeah.
I love Boyz II Men. I love them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go jealousy.
112 or Drew Hill.
Tell me, you know what? I might go 112.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
I might go 112.
All right. Luther
Uh-oh. I know who you're gonna say.
or Donnie?
Oh.
Who you think? First of all, who you think I was gonna say?
Somehow, for some reason, I thought you were gonna say Ron Osley. Because those are both baby making people.
Interesting.
Donnie's not a baby making artist.
Okay, but I'm gonna stick with that. Luther or Donnie?
Luther.
Okay.
Just because obviously the catalog's bigger. He's been around long, and that was what I grew up on. I got into Donnie later. You know what I mean? Like, I found out who he was much later, and I respect him so much. But like Luther, I'm in fucking kindergarten and hearing him every day till I'm a grown man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of Ron, Isley Brothers or Earth, Wind and Fire?
Isley Brothers. By the way, on Black Radio 3, I did a extended version, and I did a duet of Voyage to Atlantis
Yeah.
with Bilal and
Yes.
Alex
It was a
Isley.
Supreme edition, right?
Supreme Edition.
Yes.
But hold on, here's the crazy part about that. After I recorded it, before the record came out, I recorded that. About 2 weeks after I recorded it, I was staying at Sunset Marquee. And me and my lady were in a pool, and this guy was in the balcony. He's like, "Hey, you Robert Glasper?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, I work for the Isley Brothers." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "You know any studios around here?" And I'm like,
What?
"Dude, this is so random." I'm like, "It's a studio here at the hotel."
Yeah.
He said, what? I said, Studio Hill. So I hooked the manager of Sunset with him. He said that, Ron and
Ernie?
Ernie did the studio for that. I said, I'll get the manager. Boom, 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 boom. And he invited me to their session later that night. I got to play Voyage to Atlantis, my version, for Ron and Ernie.
Way. Wow.
What?
In Studio A at Sunset Marquee. When I tell, bro, like, and Sharkey was on guitar. Isaiah Sharkey. You know Isaiah Sharkey?
Yeah.
He used to play with Isley Brothers when he was in high school. Let's just think about that for a second. So when you put on my version of Voyage to Atlantis, it takes you a minute to realize it's not the original one.
Yeah.
Because Sharkey has that shit down.
Locked, yeah.
He got Ernie sound down. It's so good, man. So good. So that was an amazing, situation where I got to play that for them. They loved it, They loved it.
We interviewed the Isley Brothers for the podcast at Ron Isley's house
Shut up.
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
That's still crazy to me.
He giving us little sandwiches and you know what I'm saying? And his liquor. At Christmas time, the Christmas tree's up. There's like portraits. We were at Mr. Big's house.
Yes. First of all, no one's had a longer career. Like literally being relevant
Right now.
now.
Yeah.
And
Right now.
they're also one of those artists, when they do your song, it's no longer your song.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Luther.
Yes.
Luther's the same.
Yes.
If he take that and redo it, goodbye.
Night.
Night. So
Night,
rap.
night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Isley Brothers, like they're the ultimate goats.
Oh, man.
Ultimate legends.
Oh man, absolutely.
He kept it real on Keep or Kill.
Make some noise. Keep or Kill, Robert Glasper edition.
I never even heard of that. I love that.
He kept it real. He kept it real.
We're gonna have Earth, Wind, and Fire this year at my Napa festival, by the way.
Okay, speaking of, I didn't want to
Yes.
put you on blast.
Yes,
So,
talk about
okay,
it.
while I got Glasper here, your Napa festival, your Blue Note, all your residencies you do, I think in October roughly. Just give me management. I got credit card. Put it on file. I need to be in there because when I tell you,
No,
it sells
100%.
out in moments.
I know. I've
So,
tried.
I'm putting Glasper on the spot right now. I need to be there. Give me with management, but I'm willing to pay. I just need to be able to send my Amex to whoever just to get
For
me
sure.
in there because it's
Yeah.
really. Layla took me to one of your concerts and events you had during Grammy weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah.
and I was like, man, this is a room. And then I saw
it's a vibe.
but so Napa.
Yeah. So Napa's happening this year. I just gave y'all a sneak peek because we didn't even post it yet. But Napa's happening this year. It's Labor Day weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
So August 30, what is it? 29, 30, 31.
Yep.
In Napa, at the Meritage Hotel Resort. This is going to be the fourth year of the festival. And it's gonna be great. But I can say Earth, Wind, and Fire is gonna be there. So
Which is the other legendary band.
absolutely. It's what's funny. My mom almost whooped my ass when I was 12 because Earth, Wind, and Fire was in Houston, and she knew I wanted to be a musician. At that point, I might have been 13, but she knew I was trying to be serious about being a musician. And she said, "Wake up, we're gonna go see Earth, Wind, and Fire." They're at the rodeo, Houston Rodeo. And I was like, "No, I'm sleepy. I don't want to go." She said, "Get your ass up and get your dressed. I'm gonna see Earth Wind. You want to be a musician? Oh, but she was literally about to get the belt." So I went to the show. It was amazing. Fast forward in like 2018, 17, I'm producing Philip Bailey. He put a solo record out, and I produced like 4 or 5 songs in there. And I told him, I was like, "Yo, my mom made me go to Earth, Wind, and Fire concert in Houston for the rodeo when I was 13 or whatever." He was like, "I remember that show." He said it's one of the worst shows of my life because I have allergies.
Oh,
And it was a rodeo. And he
this
remembered
is
it.
one of the worst shows of my life. Meanwhile, your whole life has changed,
My
right?
life changed amazing. yo, that's so funny, bro.
Yo,
But that was like just a full circle moment. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy, but I'm in here.
that. See, it made your night, and he was like, "I'm never coming back to this hellhole ever again." That's crazy.
Yeah. And then last year, Philip came to Napa just to hang out. You know, him and his daughter and his son just came to Napa to hang out. And I had Bilal performing. Was that last year or the year before? Year before last thing. And I had Bilal as my guest performing. So since Philip was there, we did Can't High Love, right? And then I surprised the crowd and had Philip walk up on Can't High Love with Bilal, and then Layla joined them.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
But that's the thing about Napa. My festival is just like, it's that stuff. It's that. It's not, because most festivals you go to, everybody does their show and they go home.
Yeah.
You don't see, you could have went somewhere else and saw that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My festival is like, who's here? Go, let's jump on stage together. Let's do this. Let's do this. You know what I mean? The last one I had, I had that same year. Matter of fact, that same year that happened, I brought Anderson .Paak on stage with Bilal, and then I had Rakim come on and do a verse, and then Chance the Rapper was over there, and I was like, "Come on!" He was like, "That's Rakim." I don't. They met on stage, brought Chance the Rapper on stage. Then I was like, "Hey, De La Soul's over there. Yo, y'all come on." It was just move. It was literally moving like that.
I'm coming this year.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
It's
we'll be
like,
there. We going? We going?
I'm going.
Let's
down.
go.
I'm in.
Boom.
mad at-
My
I'm
credit
mad I
card
missed
ready.
last
It's
year.
ready to be
Boom.
swiped. Let's
Yeah,
go.
but I want to create I want to always create those moments, because those are the moments I create
Yes.
at Robtober in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I do my monthly residency there, it's just like, it's painting in real time with artists. It's great to deal with artists who are cool. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And who are down to like, yeah, let's collaborate, let's do that. Because even at Napa, also we had George Clinton there, right? And I had De La Soul there. They were my guests too. On one of my nights, I had De La Soul as my guest.
Wow.
They sampled Dog Catcher. Me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
I mean, boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. It's just me, myself, and I. They sampled George Clinton.
Yeah.
They never performed it with George Clinton.
Really?
Ever. George Clinton was there at Napa. I'm like, hey, George, you want to come rock? We gonna do this. We gonna do me, myself, and I. He was like, oh man, let's do it. And he came and rocked out with De La Soul with us. And then
Crazy.
then right after that, he did his show on the other one, and I went over there and I played Dog Catcher with him. You know what I mean?
Basically, you're creating magic moments.
Literally, that's what it is, bro. It's like moments you're never gonna see again, because that's not how people do things.
Right.
You know? This is like a big ass jam session.
Oh, we in there this year. I ain't got
there.
it. I was gonna hit Layla and be. I was like, well, have her hit you, but now,
Yeah.
nah,
No, we
yeah.
good.
direct link right now.
We won an award together.
Yeah,
we
that's-
good.
you know what I mean?
We
We
good.
in there. So, but nah, I'm excited about that. But I'm
That's
pulling
crazy.
up. I'm pulling up.
Absolutely.
Credit card ready.
You and Dave Chappelle have been close for a long time, right? How long y'all been friends for?
Well, we started being friends. I would say like, I don't know, I don't know, 08, 09,
Oh, okay.
something in there, something like that. I just started giving them random piano lessons whenever we were backstage at the Roots. I used to play at the Roots a lot. Matter of fact, before 08, it was when I was playing with the Roots a lot. I used to be a root, basically. I was doing a lot of roots.
I was a root.
I was doing a lot of roots gigs. So, but Dave would pop up at those roots gigs, and then sometimes be a piano in the back. And Dave loves to play and learn around midnight by Thelonious Monk's version. So so he would always, I would sit down with him and we would do that. And then he just loves my piano trio stuff and all the things. So he's a big jazz head. You know? So he just started coming to my shows whenever he could. Like literally, he would fly. He would come. You performing so? I'm pulling up.
And he would really pull up.
He would really pull up. You know what I mean? So he started doing that, especially during Robtober at Blue Note. He would just pull up and come and hang out for a week and bring just random ass stars with him. Like, why is
Like who?
He pulled up with Susan Sarandon one time, Bradley Cooper, the dudes who made South Park.
What in the world?
He brought Foo Fighters with him because they were at Madison Square Garden. He went to Madison Square Garden and ended up on stage with them. And he told me, Rob, I'm coming back there and I'm bringing them with me. But when I saw on my break, I saw him on stage with them. And I'm like, it was on IG and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, he ain't making it here.
Right.
10 minutes before we're about to leave the stage. He was like, don't leave, we're coming, we're on our way. So we extended the set. He's the only one like that, where he's like Prince, but in comedy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like people just want to hang out with you. Like you throw a party. That's how Dave, bro, I went to a thing, Dave called me one time. He loves to call at the last minute when he wants to like do a random pop-up somewhere. Like, I feel like telling jokes, I'm gonna do a pop-up and just work out, you know what I mean? And we're in LA and he called me and it was like, yo, I'm gonna be at the Hotel Cafe in like 2 hours. You wanna pop up, play piano? I was like, cool. because I'll just play piano for 2 hours while he tells jokes. You know what I mean? That's just, and so I go there and I'm in this little room on the side. It's me and him talking, and then all of a sudden Dave Grohl walks in, and I'm like, "Yo, Dave Grohl, cool." Blah, blah, blah. A few minutes later, U2 walks in.
Wow.
Bono and
the
Edge?
Yeah, all three of them walked in. To this, mind you, there's like 40 people in the thing. No one knows Dave is there. It's a pop up. You know what I mean? So, because he just wants to work out jokes. So he just invites people. He wants to. Jimmy Jam's at the bar.
What kind of room is this?
Right. And then, I'm not even done, bro. Then Bon Jovi walks in. And you're too late. You give love a bad name.
Come on, Jersey.
Come on. Yo, so, and we're sitting in that room just talking. And I told Bon Jovi, I was like, you wrote a gospel song, Living on the Prayer.
Living on the Prayer is
Yeah,
gospel.
yeah.
That's a gospel song.
Gospel.
And everybody's cool, chilling. And in my mind, I'm like, somebody please take a picture. And then Dave was like, the person came in, like, Dave, you ready to go? So Dave's like, okay, let's go. Soon as we started walking out, Matthew, Dave's photographer, came in. But it was too late. People started.
Damn.
I was like, that's not happening again. But that's Dave's real life all the time. So
That's your real life all the time.
But it's Dave's real life all the time. That all those rock. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I'm still thinking we need to do his documentary.
Right.
So you talk about you met Dave during your time at those Roots Jam sessions, right?
Yeah.
And I think back to the early 2000s and kind of when neo soul was blossoming. You were around Bilal and Badu and Jill.
All that.
And what was it like to be in the middle of the creation of something that was on the cusp of becoming this new sound?
It was amazing because there was all these jam sessions they would do. Because that sound started in Philly, at this spot called the Black Lily. So Bilal hit me to that. And he was like, yo, we started taking Greyhound buses from school. We'd take a Greyhound bus, I think it was on Monday nights, I think. And take a Greyhound bus to Philly so we can go to the Black Lily and be at those jam sessions. That's where I met Jasmine. She's probably like, dude, she's like 14.
Jeez.
In the club, smashing. Just incredible, bro. So we started doing that. And then they had the Roots started a jam session in New York at the spot called Wetlands. So we would go there and jam, and all the cats knew me as Bilal's jazz friend. Bilal, Common, and, all the Jill. Because even in Brooklyn, like me and Erykah and Common and Bilal lived within 3 blocks from each other. Like Erykah used to come to my house and play me demo stuff. It was, we were literally that close, living that close. I used to give Common piano lessons. So it was literally like a family. Yeah.
Have you ever worked with Sade?
I would love to, but I never have, no.
I would love that combo.
I would, no, her background singers, I met her background singers one time and they told me she loves me.
I love to see him. I'm giving you my wish list. Sade would be on there and Doechii.
Gotcha, yeah.
Oh.
I love Doechii. She's dope. Doechii's dope.
From Sade to
Same
Doechii.
time? Same song?
Could be.
Ooh, that would go, though.
Interesting, bro.
That would go. It just takes the right song. I got it. It'll be fine.
If anyone could do it, it's you, bro.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Absolutely. You know who else I want to work with? Janet Jackson.
Because she's another one. Them backgrounds, that texture.
Yeah.
All my life I waited. Jam and Lewis, man.
I asked Jimmy Jam his top 3 songs he's ever written.
Come Back to Me is one of them.
Nope.
Damn.
What'd he say?
Want to guess? Some of them are like, what?
Can you
Can't
say
Stand
the
the
rain?
Rain.
That's what I thought. Nope.
Control.
Something from Alexander O'Neal.
That's what I thought too. My Sunshine, right? I think it was Sunshine.
SOS Band.
I thought so.
Me.
I thought
Optimistic
that too.
is one of them, though.
That's right.
Okay.
Optimistic's one.
No more drama.
Nope. He wrote one more. He wrote. That's the Jam Three Lewis.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. On Bended Knee.
Nope.
There's got to be a Janet song in there,
Yes.
Janet, what song did we not say, though?
but it might be an up tempo.
That's the way love goes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that song is forever.
So Jimmy said, that's the way love goes, Janet. Optimistic sounds to
The
blackness.
third one's gonna be it's a curveball. Yolanda Adams.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Open up my
Open my heart.
Open up my heart.
Wow.
We have
Yep.
optimistic Janet Jackson
And
and
Yolanda
Yolanda Adams.
Yep.
Alone in the room.
It's
Alone
me
in
and
the
you.
room.
Me and you.
Come on. Yeah.
You got taste.
Yeah.
So the real challenge is to get Sade, Yolanda Adams, and Janet Jackson on the same song. Oh man.
We sound crazy.
The Esther Roll
Award.
All right, Rob. So this is our. I would say this might be our most important segment before we say good night, goodbye. We just section off a part of this entire conversation to talk about the artists, the musicians, the Black entertainers that maybe didn't get the love they deserve for their contributions to this culture, right? There are people that we know get a lot of love, but there's many that don't. So with the platform, we want to give some love to some flowers to those who don't.
Of course.
So this is the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award.
Okay.
We all nominate somebody, and then we all get to vote, and then someone gets some flowers and an
Nice.
award
Nice.
for their Irby. So you're part of the delegation now.
Okay.
We talked about a lot of people in this conversation.
I already got it.
Who you got?
Yeah,
James Poison.
that's a good
shit.
one.
Poison.
That's a good one.
Because of the songs he wrote, because of the style, his style of playing, you can't play the neo soul genre without playing
James
James
Poison.
James
Right.
Poyser's style of playing. Like so much of my playing comes from him. And people love to talk about how they love my playing a lot, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of my playing is partly James.
Glasper has nominated James Poyser. Does anyone want to follow that with a nomination?
I got one. We talked about my nomination this week a few times
Yes.
in this episode, but also in general. And Tamone has nominated him a few times, and y'all was hating.
Who was
I'm
that? Why not me?
nominating the legend George Benson.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all know I go down my infamous rabbit holes. Was listening to The Dude, Quincy Jones.
The dude.
And No, You Wouldn't Hurt Me is one of my favorite songs off of there. Patty Austin. I'm putting it on the
Patty.
table this week.
Patty
that,
Austin.
that tone is just
From Off the Wall, bro. Her and
Yep.
James.
Yes.
she's a-
Yeah.
it's the
She's
found
in love that's making me high. It's
It's
the
the
being in love that makes me cry. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
all
day.
that. So
All right.
Patty Austin is
That's
for me.
I like it.
Patty Austin?
Yeah.
Speaking of tone, I nominated this guy before, and he didn't win.
Oh Lord.
But I just feel like with all of these lists that's coming up out, the Mount Rushmores of R&B singers or whatever, CeeLo Green does not get his due for
Love CeeLo.
the vocalist that he
Yes.
is. Like
CeeLo's nice.
it's like one of the most original voices that I've ever
Yeah.
heard ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he get his flowers. So I'm
I hear that. I hear
I like that.
I like
CeeLo.
that.
I'm gonna nominate Maxwell
Oh,
Yeah.
because
Sorry, Patty Austin.
I don't. It's not that he's not recognized, right? But when we talk about the best male R&B singers and Mount Rushmore's and all that stuff, his name doesn't come up often. But check them ticket sales.
Yeah.
Check that
He's still in them
catalog.
arenas.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
that voice.
Yeah.
Check the songs. Like
Yeah.
Maxwell is that dude.
No, dude, I did 5 years with him.
You know.
I ain't never seen an arena tour all women. It's like 99% female, bro. He's great. I love Max. He put an album out every
Every couple of years.
12 years.
It's like Sade.
Him and Sade, right?
Yeah, it's like him, Sade, and D'Angelo.
Yeah, but they're always in the cut. But I think that's what makes him so dope is the mysterious.
No, absolutely. And I love Max too because he doesn't conform to what's cracking, what's hot.
Right.
The vibes, what's happening. He don't care. He's gonna do him. And
Yeah.
that's what's so dope about him too. You know.
This is a tough.
This is tough, man. I thought
Ballad.
I was gonna get it this week, man. Hold on. So, just to recap, we got James Poyser, George Benson, Patty Austin, CeeLo, and Maxwell. So we go to a vote at this point.
Okay, got it.
James Poyser, 4 out of 5. George Benson, 5 out of 5. Okay. Patty Austin, 1 out of 5. We love you, Bandleader. CeeLo Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that.
You got 3 out of 5 for CeeLo. He's coming on the show soon. Remember who voted for you?
Right.
Right.
And Maxwell. 3 out of 5.
The winner.
The
You
winner. George Benson.
won. George Benson.
Man, congratulations,
Yeah.
George Benson, our winner this week of the Esther Black Excellence Award.
So
Congratulations.
I guess it's gonna take 5 years for Patty Austin to get.
Nah, but George Benson deserves.
He deserves it.
He do.
Yeah, George Benson. I'll tell you, there's a clip I'm gonna send to y'all of Aretha Franklin talking about him. I didn't even know they went on tour. I didn't even know they knew each other. But that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Man, this conversation has been a dream come true.
Wow.
Yes.
Listen. Wow.
I'm glad you fueled up the private jet and came back.
I literally flew back. I said, this is because Glasper is my most played artist on my preferred digital service provider. I ain't giving them no plug, but my preferred DSP.
Right.
I literally the last 3-4 years is, you know how they rank it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, man, I listened to him that much. Yeah, but man, salute.
appreciate that.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you.
for real.
Absolutely.
You are just keep going. We
Yes.
need you.
Yes.
In music, we need you on the stage. We need you on festivals. We need you scoring more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to see what the future holds. I really can.
Absolutely. Thank y'all. This is great. I've been waiting to do this.
No,
Yeah,
dude, it's a
man.
pleasure to have you
Yeah.
here, and I think
Yeah.
you're gonna inspire a lot of people,
Word up.
especially musicians, on how to just maneuver because you're doing it your own way, and that's the
Yes.
key. Is just do it your own fucking way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the key.
Period.
Trust the universe.
Yes, trust the universe.
Trust the universe.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com. Like and subscribe below.
And shout out to the good people at Visit Music City. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Robert Glasper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We sound crazy.